Okay, welcome back to your puzzle project. So in the past we have done a puzzle in class, and my demonstration looks something like this, where a former student of mine took this shape here, traced it out, and then created it into separate pieces in order to create a puzzle. So my goal today is to try to walk you guys through the steps to do this. There is a lot involved. I will try to go slow. That way you can see all the steps to do this. Okay, so you have two options. I would love for you first to find a symbol online that you would like to do. So a better symbol than I could think of was Batman. Why not, right? So I'm going to choose a dark night here. And I'm going to first right-click it and copy the image. So I need to go online and find the image. If you want to do Batman, fine, knock yourself out. Okay? All right, so then I need you to open up the VCarve software. All right, and I'm going to pretend here like I'm starting from scratch, just like you are right now. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And once you do that, you're going to create a new file. Okay, I want your size to be 11 by 11 by 0.25. That should give you guys enough space to be able to make something kind of cool. And if it's smaller, then great. Make sure this is the datum position is marked in the upper right-hand corner. That's all you have to worry about. So make sure that your settings match mine. So width and height is 11. Thickness is 0.25. That's the thickness of my board. Press OK. All right. Now you can just do a simple Control-V and just paste it. So you copied it over. Now, the size you see here is the size of your board. So while I'm here, we're going to create the border around here as well, just so we have that done. Okay? So in order to trace your object, now remember this, you want something with some meat on it. You want something that has some thickness to it. So once you have your piece, you're going to hit the bird here. Okay? Now, I would choose black and white. It's the simplest one to use. If you choose color, sometimes you get all these shades. It makes it confusing. Choose black and white. Scroll down. You have to press 3 buttons here. Preview. What that does is that creates the outline. Apply it, and close. Now you can click this and delete it. Okay? Once you have that done, I'm going to go ahead and just click rectangle, click, drag, and hold. That way I have this part finished. And press on apply and close once you have that done. So now Batman is created. Okay, while we're here, let's do a save as and save it to a place where you can find it. Batman already exists. Okay, apparently I did that once. Okay, next I want to save it as a DXF file. Why? That will allow me to transfer it over to Autocad to be able to make sections. Now, why is that necessary? Because you can't do it in this program. It's not user-friendly when it comes to drawing and design. Yes, it has drawing features, but it's not fun to use. So here's how you do that. Hit File, choose on Export. You're going to export it as a DXF file. Okay? Save it someplace where you can find it. Okay, well, it looks like it doesn't like that because I've already used it once. So, Export, DXF. We're going to call Batman symbol 1. There we go. All right. So, I have that saved to be moved over. While I'm in here, I want to get the setup for my carve once I did that. Before we get going on this, I had to make an edit because I realized that I found a way to make things a little bit easier on us. So, right now, this little area is where your bit will start at. So this is dead space here, which I don't like. So if you highlight your thing, you can use your mouse, or not mouse, but the arrows on your keyboard to move it up. So try to get it up by that space as tight as possible without it going over it, because it needs to be still on the board. If you want to give yourself a little room, that's fine. I totally understand that. Okay, so that's now set up and ready to roll. So, next thing you do, choose your symbol. Okay, hit Toolpath. You're going to go and hit this one right here. It's called Pocket Toolpath. Now, this thing will go in and out like this all day long. If you hit this little tack right here, it will stay in. So, make sure this is chosen. Choose Pocket Toolpath. Okay, next, set your cut depth to 0.125. Okay, that's how deep it will go into the board. Make sure it's the cut depth, not start depth. Okay. On the end mill, choose on select, please. Okay. Choose on the end mill and the 0.125, the one at the very top, and you should be okay. This should say 1 pass. If it says more, this number might be wrong, and so you may want to adjust that. The rule of thumb is this number should never exceed this number here. So just to make it easier on you, just to figure that out. Okay, press on calculate. This is your carve. Okay. It says 17 minutes, about right. I could probably make it quicker by speeding it up, but that should be fine. Okay, that's first one. Next, click on the 2D view. Then I want you to click on this line here on your outside border. Move your mouse over, hit close over here. Choose on profile toolpath. Okay, this is going to be your carve out. Now, here's what I like doing. Change this to 0.26. I always like to go a little bit deeper than what the board says. Press on the select one, and I want you to choose up here to that 0.125. Yours might be on that already. If so, great. Now this says 2, which I don't like, because this exceeds this times 2. So choose edit pass and go up and make this to 3. Press OK. This doesn't really matter if it's on or inside or outside. Doesn't really matter for this. So press on calculate. This will pop up. It just means that I'm going deeper than the board. That's fine. Press OK. Now you're good. Okay. Now, if you were getting ready to print this off or carve this off, sorry, you would hit save here, and you would find this Stepcraft toolpath. And usually what I tell people first time is to hit T and then go up a little bit to hit the top one, and then you would save it. Okay. I'm not going to ask you to do that just yet. Okay. So for right now, I want you to go up here and just press save and save this file, because you're going to give me 2 different files, because I want to see this just so I can make sure that everything is correct and we're not going to have a problem when I carve out. Okay, so this is one of your files done. All right, you got that set, you got your carve out ready to go. Let's go to Autocad. Okay, here's how you do this. So I'm going to start from scratch here. So you're going to go up to the A here, you're going to press open. Now here's where some people kind of mess up at. You need to change your file type to DXF. Otherwise this will not work. Go find your Batman symbol for me. Now, at first you're going to be like, I don't see it, it's on my screen. That's because it's in a different location. Double click on your scroll and it will pop into form. Or zoom out and you'll see it. Remember, double click is a zoom all and you'll see everything. So this square here you don't need anymore. It doesn't matter. So next thing you're going to do is you're going to divide this up into pieces or whatever you want to do. So make sure, I'm going to just do mine roughly here, that you are doing this hitting lines. Don't have gaps in here, okay? I'm going to do some arcs on mine just for fun. In fact, I might do this one myself just because I can. So I'm going to use arcs. You can use lines. You can use whatever. Actually, I'll use a line on that one. So go ahead and lay yours out however you want to do it. Okay. I'll trim these out. The old-fashioned trim. My computer's lagging a little bit here. Okay, there we go, there we go. Let me do one more. And do a line right down the middle just for the heck of it. So I have a couple different pieces. Remember, the more pieces you have, the more complicated it will be to put back together again. So these are going to be all my pieces. So if you want to pause your video and if you want to go ahead and get yours set up, then you should be fine then. Okay? All right, next step is this. You're going to have to boundary all these things. So BO for boundary. So pick points, choose inside of these. If you get an error, then that means that you either have a gap someplace or you're zoomed in. You want to see the full thing when you do this. If you zoom in too much for some reason, boundary doesn't work. Press enter. Now, you're going to click on your pieces, type M enter, move them off your base just like they're a puzzle piece. Okay? So do that for each one of your pieces. This will take you a moment. Move it over here to the side. That way they're out of your way, and keep track of which ones you end up doing. Why do you have to do this? Because you need gaps in between your pieces. That way you can carve them out in the proper measurements. If you don't have any space around them, then this will not work. So keep track of which ones you're doing. All right. I'm just going to work away here for a moment. Sure you're doing yours. I'm probably going to carve this one out because I want to. Nice being the teacher, I can do that kind of stuff. That, and I want an example to keep. A fun one, that is. Okay, so I got all mine separated. Also try to put them in a cluster too. Highly advise that once you get it done, I'm actually going to move this thing aside. Keep this. Don't erase it. It's nice to have a map for what your puzzle is supposed to look like. Because when you carve this thing out, you might be clueless on how it goes. So, once you got this ready, you need to do a save. Now, you have to save it a specific way. You need to save it as a DXF, but it must be a 2013. It does not like the other DXF, and I can't tell you why. It just does not. So save it as bat symbol or whatever it is, pieces. Save it as a different name. Okay? Don't save over your other copy, please. Okay, you got this ready to go. All right? Go back to VCarve. File new. You have this saved. If it prompts you to save, do it again. I'm going to keep my measurements on here the same. Press OK. File, import, vectors. Okay, Batman symbol pieces. Now, you may have to zoom out to find yours. It may be over here. I don't know. So I can erase this now because I don't need this anymore. And I can highlight this, move it over to where it's on my board. Now, if your pieces are too big and you don't have enough space for some reason, you are allowed to go to Edit and Job Size and make this bigger. That's entirely up to you. Okay? If you're like, I can fit this a little bit better, you can double click on this, maybe move it over here. Maybe I want to save space down here. I don't know. I am going to highlight this though and move it up to where it's closer to the top of the page, and then I'm good there. Okay, here's the last final step. Highlight this. Hit toolpath. I'm going to lock it in again so it doesn't move. I'm going to hit the profile toolpath. I want this end mill here. I want 0.26, but I want it to be 3 passes. Last final little tweak, click this. Your offset allowance needs to be minus 0.05. Scroll down, choose calculate. You'll get this error saying you're cutting through the board too deep. That's great, don't care. Okay. Now I'm going to right click and I'm going to rename this as bat pieces. Would you name it accordingly, please? Okay. So go ahead and save this. Bat pieces. Now, typically you would want to then save this and export it to a flash drive, but I want to make sure everything's done right so I don't end up breaking a bit or something else. So humor me and do not worry about the export on these. Okay? Once you have these done, you get the easy job. Go to Google Classroom, turn in these 2 files. I will make an assignment for this here in a moment, and we're going to call this one CNC puzzle using Autocad and VCarve to create a puzzle. Okay? Make this, I don't know, let's go 50 points. Sounds good. All right? So go ahead and do this. Upload both files. You should have a board and you should have your pieces. If you got that done, you are doing good. All right? Thank you very much, guys, for your time. This video is done. Assign. Now go do it. All right? And hopefully this will be fun in the end. All right? Thanks. Bye.